Hello students, how are you? Welcome to another social studies video. Today we have a pretty different format. I hope you understand everything we are going to go through, although it's content that we saw last week. Now we are going to see it more in detail because we are going to focus only in the north of Chile. So let's begin. So who were the first inhabitants from northern Chile? There we can find Quechua people who also live in countries like Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador. Also Aymaras. Look at that man. Aymaras man in some kind of celebration, I think. And look at that baby Quechua. Beautiful, lovely. And in the gray area there, we can find Atacameños or Licanantay culture. Also, Coya people, look at them, granddad, Coya people living there which is now Región de Atacama, and also Diaguita people living there in the valleys of the near north and close to rivers. Now, let's analyze the part where these people live. You can see Aymaras living here in the plateau, also Atacameños living here in the plateau, which is altiplano in Spanish, and it's very high leveled and flat. And Quechua people living here. You see these people, although their territories were well spread, they also lived together. They probably found together as well. They met sometimes. They probably traded products as well. And it's very important that we understand that all these people live close to, what do you think? What's the most important element for life? Water. Yes. All these peoples, even though it's a desert and it's very dry, they live close to water, and that is rivers and other kind of streams. Look at the Atacameños, for example, living around Rio Loa. And look at here, this green line identifying the Changos, which, by the way, were the only nomadic group from the north. But now, let's analyze those concepts. What is the meaning of being sedentary? Sedentary groups or sedentary people live in only one place. That's the most important thing, that you stay in only one place. And what are the features of sedentary groups? They practice agriculture. They also practice cattle raising with animals. They build strong houses. And interestingly, they design their own clothes by using different weaving techniques. And what is the meaning of being nomadic? Nomadic groups move from one place to another. They never stay in only one place. And what is the only nomadic group from the north and also part of the central zone of Chile? Changos. And what are the features of nomadic groups? They moved from one place to another. The refugees were light and easy to carry, of course. And some groups hunted and gathered food, and other groups, such as Changos, fished and gathered seafood, like oysters, for example. Here we can see some examples of sedentary groups. They usually built these cultivation terraces belonging to Licanantay, Aymaras, and other groups like Quechuas as well. And the idea of these terraces is that you can get as much water as you can, because remember, it's very dry there and it almost never rains. So it's important to catch as much water as you can so you can water the plants and the crops. Another example is a Quechua house or Aymara house called Uta. You see they are very strong just like we talked about them last week, and durable. Big rocks, mud, chaff as well. Chaff meaning paja, rocks, and mud, barro. So I repeat, they're very strong. And here we can see Likanantai kids with their animals because they practice cattle raising. Usually, Likanantai people, Diaguita people, also Koya, Quechua, and Aymara, they got wool, milk, and meat and some other products from their animals. That's why they raised animals, such as guanacos, alpacas, and llamas or llamas. Here we can see a picture of an Aymara weaving technique. Beautiful. And here we see some rafts and harpoons from changos. Remember, changos were the only nomadic group from the north and central part of Chile. Why do you think these people, chango people, move? Yes, because of food. They needed to find food as often as possible so they can live. That's life. And now we have a little summary of the things we just saw. We have sedentary groups, which are Aymaras, Quechua, Atacameños, or Licanantay, Diaguitas, and Coyas. Also, we have a nomadic group in the north, which is Chango people, and we saw some examples of agriculture, cattle raising, houses, and nomadic groups, rafts, and harpoons. And now I have these questions. Which groups build strong houses? Sedentary groups or nomadic groups? Do you need to have strong houses if you're a nomadic group? No, right? You need to have light and easy to carry houses if you're moving around a territory. So, which groups build strong houses? Sedentary groups, of course. And which group built harpoons and rafts? Changos, because they needed to look for their food all along their territory. Is it clear? Now I say goodbye, and also I want you to go to Padlet and answer the questions there. But first, do the activity from the handout. And I see you next week. Goodbye.